I have the distinct honor of introducing a national touring artist and recording artist who's been at it for a long time, and he's here with me, Mr. Tim Charron. How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing great. Welcome to the two Tims.
The double T's, as they
Yeah,
say. All right. Well, I hope you're ready, Tim, because I got a bunch of questions prepared here. I did my
I'm
re-
ready. I'm ready. I'm physically, mentally prepared for this barrage of awesome questions.
Well, here we go. Let's go back in time to your earliest inspirations for this kind of trop rock lifestyle that you live. And I hope I'm pronunciating this place correctly. Correct me if I'm not, but Matanook Beach. Is that correct?
Close. It's called Matunik. Matunik.
Matunic, of
Yeah.
course. Do you know the history of Matunic? Does that have a tribal past or?
It's definitely an Indian name.
Okay, that's cool.
I think it's
Well,
the
obviously
Narragansett Indians.
that's in Rhode Island, the great state of Rhode Island, and how did that place inspire you early on as a kid?
Well, I grew up in Rhode Island, and my grandmother and then my mother both had little beach cottages down right in Matunuck, right across from the beach. So we would spend our summers down there, and I kind of grew up in not the city, but kind of suburbs, and then we moved a little bit closer to the city in Warwick. So to me, to go there during the summer and spend the summers there was just magical. I mean, we would have bonfires on the beach, and people would be walking by at night, and everybody would join the bonfires, and it would turn into a big party. And there's a beach bar right there called the Ocean Mist that my family, my parents would go to and stuff. And there was this like teen hall where they would have like teen dances, and they had video games and stuff. So it was just I was just blown away by this beach lifestyle. My grandfather would, I always remember him fondly. He would every morning he would go running on the beach in the morning, and just all those things just stuck with me. And to this day made me want to live a beach lifestyle. And now I live on the beach in Miami Beach. I'm moving next week to Clearwater Beach. I'm literally on the beach every single day.
So, are you live from Miami right now? Is that where you are?
Yeah, Miami Beach, Ocean Drive, right here.
Awesome. Why are you jumping over to Clearwater?
Um, we want a change of pace, and Clearwater seems amazing. And there's more of a country music scene, so more of a trop rock music scene. So yeah, I've lived on and off in Miami Beach for many years, and I love it. But it's time for a change. Plus, it's a little bit closer to Nashville. I used to live in Nashville full time, and then I've been splitting my time between Miami and Nashville, and Clearwater and Tampa are just much, much closer to Nashville. So,
Well, it makes sense. I mean, and this obviously is a good time to change a lot of things
yeah,
in anybody's life.
true.
Your first big gig was at age 16, and how your career has grown since then. What was it like sharing the stage with Bret Michaels of Poison, Willie Nelson, Randy Travis, and the late great Charlie Daniels? Tell me a couple stories about those experiences.
Oh man, my God. It's amazing for me. I grew up listening to and going to shows like I'll date myself, but one of my very first concerts was Poison's first tour when they were touring clubs, and I went to a little tiny club in Rhode Island called the Living Room. Literally,
I
there's
played
about
it.
what?
I know that club. I played there.
No way!
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God!
Great club.
I grew up in Matunic Beach and in the Living Room. Saw so many so many amazing shows there. I mean, there was like maybe 200, 300 people at the show. It was obviously right before they blew up. I literally sat on the stage because the place is tiny, as you know. I literally hung out with them because nobody really knew who they were. And they pulled their tour bus up after the show and just hung out with us like until like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was really young. I got in trouble for staying out late, but that's, you know, I met Brett and the whole band and, you know, hung out with them. So all these years later, to share the stage with Brett so many times, you know, I've become friends with him and his band. It's just magical. It's a dream come true. You know, you grow up idolizing these people and looking up to them, and then you get to literally share the stage with them. And you know, just imagine, just picture in your mind. We opened for them. One of the times that we had opened for them, he called me out on stage to sing with him the encore, which was nothing but a good time. So if you can imagine, you know, 5,000-10,000 people, it's Brett's last song of his set, and the pyro's going off like 100 feet in the air. And he calls me out because I was watching from the side of the stage, and I go running out there, and it's like the stuff that I literally dreamed of when I was a little kid. So just magical.
Amazing story. I mean, he's not the only one, too. I mean, Randy Travis isn't, you know, chopped liver.
Oh my God.
Or Charlie Daniels, you know.
The coolest things are to, you know, I'm a student of the game. I absolutely love, you know, pretty much everything about the music business and performing. And I love to study it. And the most amazing way to study it is to get the opportunity to hang out with these icons of music, share the stage with them, and learn from what they do. And one thing that I learned, you know, I learned from Charlie Daniels just how to be an amazingly gracious, was an amazingly gracious person with a great personality that just took his time with every single person that was there, whether it was the opening act or every single fan that came in contact with him. Bret Michaels, same exact thing. I mean, Bret makes you feel like you're the rock star. And that's what I am trying to do with my fans. I want them to know that they are the most important person in my life, because that is the reality. Without fans, we literally have nothing. We have no one to play for. We have no one to buy our music. We're nowhere.
I can't tell you how many people I hear that from who are significant forces in the music industry. Humility rises to the top, it seems, for a lot. Your last full album, Chasing the Sun, I think was the name of it, you know, went kind of viral. And we mentioned before the program, I mean, how did you attract Jason Aldean's band to record it with you?
Yeah, so I've been friends with Rich Redmond, the drummer for Jason Aldean, for years and years and years before I even moved to Nashville. He was the only person that I knew in Nashville pretty much when I moved there. So it was just a relationship, you know. I went out one night when I was in Nashville before I had moved there, and I had some mutual friends. He was there. We just, you know, I don't know. We just kind of hit it off and kept in touch. And then we would go out to dinner, him and his wife at the time, and my wife, we would all go out to dinner or go to the movies, stuff like that when we were in Nashville. So I remember I wanted to record a single. I hadn't even really put the whole record together. I was just like, I think I want to record Chasing the Sun, the song, as a single. So I called Rich and I said, hey, you know, what would it take for you to play on this single? And he's like, man, why don't we just do a whole record? Why don't I get the guys, you know, the rest of the guys, and we'll do a whole record. And that then, which is amazing, because that made me be like, okay, I need to write some more songs. I need to come up with a whole concept for the record. And we recorded it at this guy, Chris Responte's house, at his studio in his house in Nashville. And the coolest thing about it is it's basically a live record. You know, it's me in the vocal booth and the rest of Aldean's band and Chris Responte, the producer, playing the songs live and cutting them that way, and then going in and just overdubbing extra parts. So I'm really proud of that record.
Well, Jason Aldean, I mean, and Rich Redmond, just as a drummer, I mean, he's a major, major force in the country music scene as a studio cat and as a touring drummer. I mean, he's played with a lot of different people. That's not an easy catch for a drummer to get. And so that's pretty major, man. Congratulations on that album. In fact, viewers can obviously find that all over the web, whether you're on YouTube or Spotify or whatever.
iTunes, everywhere.
Awesome. Hey, talk about, some of the other drummers maybe you use on tour. Who do you use as a drummer on your last tour? I remember seeing you at a major gig, the Woodstock Fair. I think it was last summer. Yeah, you were playing there, and I introduced myself. And thank you, very kind of you to come out and greet all the fans after the show like that. I think it was a really hot day. And who's your drummer there?
That is my man from Connecticut, Jay Wood. Jay Wood is a beast. He's a monster. I'm very fortunate to have built a career where I get to play music with people that I really just enjoy being around and who are great musicians. So, Jay's the man. So what I do is I do it a little bit different than a lot of touring musicians. Is I have band members up in the Northeast, of course in Nashville, in South Florida, in California. So the different places that I tour, I use that pool of musicians, and it's worked really well for me. And we opened for Parmalee in Apalachicola, Florida last year, and I flew Jay down from Connecticut. One of my bass players, Corey Peza, down from I think he's in Mass, and then I used my guitar player Nelson Rodriguez from down here in Miami, and I flew those guys down. We all met up in Orlando, did the road trip, and it was an amazing show. So it's awesome, man. It's so much fun. I miss live concerts so bad.
I'm sure you do, and that's a great segue to my next question. How's the Nashville and Florida music scene going? I mean, Nashville was hit by a pretty major tornado right before COVID-19 hit, and they barely had a chance, I think, to even recover from that and rebuild, and then all of a sudden COVID-19. How's everyone dealing with it, and what's the scenes like right now, particularly in Nashville?
Man, I think I can only speak for myself. I mean, I know that everybody's having a hard time with it to different degrees, and I'm sure that if you're like me and your main, I mean, not just your income is from performing, but your main source of joy and inspiration in life comes from performing. It would be hard to avoid at least a mild depression when that's taken away from you. Just talking to my contemporaries and stuff, that everybody's dealing with kind of the same thing. As far as the music scenes in South Florida, it's very, very stagnant because things are mostly closed. A lot of the live music venues aren't having live music right now. Nashville, I think it's starting to crack open more and more. But yeah, it's been tough. It's been really difficult. At the same time, I think this has been something, what I do personally, is when bad things happen, I ask myself over and over, how can I make this the best thing that's happened to me? And there's many things that I'm doing to make it, a really amazing event, even though that there are so many bad things that have happened.
It's like we're reading each other's mind. Another great segue.
Perfect.
Not to make light of it either, because my heart's with everybody that's dealing with this, and I hope everyone's safe, and we all climb back into this. But for instance, beyond music, live performance, and recording, you got a really cool blog. You got a podcast. You've written books and done online tutorials. That's kind of the stuff you're talking about. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, basically, I have my podcast. I just shot yesterday. I shot a podcast interview with songwriter Jason Bloom, and he has over 50 million records sold from songs that he's written. So basically, my podcast is music, business, and life, and it's motivation for musicians. And really anybody in general, but I take people from the entertainment business and ask them to tell their stories of their climb up, the obstacles they've had to overcome, and how they got to the success that they've gotten to. Because I think a lot of us, just in general, we all want a certain amount of success, and we see other people that have the success that we want, but we don't see the struggle that they had to go through. So I think, I was thinking about this today, day to day, as, we're going through our day, or we wake up and we think, why maybe we think, why are things, difficult? Why am I not making as much progress as I want to? And then when you listen to these people's stories on the podcast or watch it on YouTube, it's amazing, because you see, like, everybody, even the people that are extremely successful, have had to struggle, and it's taken a long time to perfect whatever craft that they're working on. Whether you're an electrician, or a doctor, or a lawyer, or a songwriter, or a recording artist, it's going to take a long time, and it's very inspiring to me anyway, to get into these people's stories and how they've come from not being successful to being successful.
Do you still have a significant other?
Yeah, Smidge.
Now, you've been with Midge. I don't personally know the story, but she seems to, I got the sense anyway, at least in Woodstock last summer, she travels everywhere with you. How do you make that work?
How do we make that work? Well, it's a pretty crazy story. We met in Key Largo. I was living in Miami Beach in 2008, I think. So this is a huge transition in my life. I was a personal trainer for years. I trained Eminem on tour. I trained Michael Stipe from REM, Brandy, Liv Tyler, a bunch of other people. And at this time, I was also doing real estate. So I started to perform again. And at that time, it was like the real estate market had crashed. So I'm losing all of my money, my properties. I mean, it was a brutal time in my life. So I decided, I just need to do what I really want to do. And so I started performing more. So I got my first gig down in Key Largo, which set me off for the next 12 years playing up and down the Florida Keys everywhere. And we met at that gig. So we started dating. And then about a year later, we decided, she left her job. I left everything, and we moved to Nashville. We were broke as hell, lived in an RV in the back of my friend Cowboy John's house in East Nashville, right next to Shelby Park. We were so broke, and the RV had no running water, it had no kitchen, no bathroom. So we had to join the YMCA to take a shower and to go to the bathroom. This is terrible. I'm like the worst boyfriend in the world. We would have to walk up the hill at Shelby Park and go to the porta potties to go to the bathroom. So that's how, I mean, it was a real major struggle. So to answer your question, what we did was we got rid of our jobs, everything, moved to Nashville, and between the two of us, we decided I'm going to be a rock star, and she is going to start a business of what she was already doing at somebody else's office. So it took us, about 10 years. And at the same time, we were complete gypsies. So we never lived in the same place for more than a few months for 10 years. Since 2009, we were, in Nashville for a few months. Then we would move up to the Northeast for a few months. And that's how I started chasing the sun, which was I started to develop my tours where we would, during the summer, we would chase the sun. So we would go up to the Northeast, live up there for a few months, play a bunch of shows, go back to Nashville, then go down to either Key West, Key Largo. We lived in Summerlin Key. We lived in Miami Beach for the winter, and I'd play a bunch of gigs down here. So it was never cold.
That's an absolutely amazing story. Wow. Let's see. What's next? What do you envision if we get a vaccine? Things start getting kind of sort of back to normal in the music scene. What's next for 2021? Do you got like maybe some new recordings in the works? Or?
Yes, I have. I'm really excited about this. So this story that I just told you, right, about Smidge and I, the most important part about it is that we both really believed in each other's dreams, and just supported each other. Whenever she was down, I would prop her up, and vice versa. So I wrote a song, okay, and it's like a love song about the people around you that really believe in you and prop you up and support your crazy pipe dreams, like we like to call it. And it's called Rockstar. So I'm in the process of recording it, and I'm going to release that soon. And I'm really proud of it because it's a song about becoming a rock star. And it's a story song where the beginning of the song is the two of them, and I'm playing in a little bar, completely unknown, just like I did, 10 years ago. That's how I started. I played in hundreds of bars. I call them barstool gigs. And that's how I started my career. So the first verse is them being in that little bar, dreaming of someday he's going to be a rock star. Then the second verse is I started a band, and we hit the road in an old Chevy van that hated the snow. So, I mean, it's literally like a little movie out of our life. And then the third verse is 10,000 people, I'm performing, at a big show, finally made it. So now I'm a freaking rock star. So I'm excited to release that.
That's amazing. You are a rock star, Tim Charron. Don't forget that, man. So this program usually goes a half hour. You've been a great guest. I got one more question for you, and thank you so much for being on here on my show. Of course, this will be rebroadcast several times. We'll do it live. We'll send it all over the place. What advice do you have for younger aspiring songwriters, particularly ones just like coming out of music school or just want to be what you are?
For songwriters specifically, my biggest piece of advice is to write what you know. Just don't try to make up a story, or don't ever make anything up. Just write stuff right from your life, from your own feelings, your gut. Write what you know. That's my biggest piece of advice for songwriting.
Well, you've been an incredible guest. It goes by fast. And so, a quick teaser, the second part of my program, we actually do separate from the first part, and that's mainly because of Facebook's muting police. And so, we do it Zoom to YouTube. That'll be posted next,
Cool.
right above this one in a little while. I already actually recorded 4 of Tim's songs. They are Chasing the Sun, A Beach Ain't One, 3 Sheets to the Wind, and I think this one was a little older one, Living the Dream. Is that off Chasing the Sun?
That's off Chasing the Sun, yeah.
All right.
And I got 99 Problems, but A Beach Ain't One is off of my newer record called Shake, Rattle, and Roll. And I'm really proud of that one because I wrote it with my friend Marty Dodson. And Marty wrote Everybody Wants to Go to Heaven for Kenny Chesney.
Wow, that's great.
Cool.
Well, hopefully I do a good job playing along to them, seeing that Rich Redman is the drummer on them. I'm even more intimidated now.
Big shoes to fill. Big shoes.
Well, I will say, I challenge myself every week that I don't practice them. I just listen to them and try to play. And Rich would tell you, and any drummer would tell you, you should be able as a drummer to sit down and just play music and follow song structure for really any situation, which is why I feel like I'm kind of like a songwriter's drummer. The other part of my next segment is I have the trivia contest answer and new trivia question. And don't forget, tonight, this is like a double dipper week. We have Paul Kane and Joe Halwa from the Island Castaways Band and the Coconut Bees live at rehearsal tonight. And so folks can come back and check that out. I'm going to be sitting down with them a little bit. And so I thank you, Tim, Charron, for being on. We'll see you on the gig trail when it picks up. And blessings to you and everybody, and hope you stay well.
Thank you so much. I just want to remind everybody, any singer, songwriters, bands that want my free book, it's a download. Just go to howtobookgigs.com. Totally free guide that'll help you out. And if anybody listening, watching wants a postcard sent from me, just send me a message or send you a message with your mailing address, and I'll drop one and sign it for you.
That's awesome. Also, you can go to timcharron.com and get that information there as well. Peace, Tim. Talk to you soon. Thanks for being on.
Thank you so much.